Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and thank you very much for everybody joining us. What a great day. Depends on how you treat your day, becomes as great as you are. So, a very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to Verda One training. I hope that all of you are staying safe and your families are doing well. Great training from a great individual today. Is it a future or only a job? I think we all want to know what the future is really keeping for us in all these extraordinary times, I must say. So there is a lot that we're going to be learning today from Mr. Faisal Suhail, the Director of Communication in Verda One. Just a little bit of an administration. The presentation is going to be around 40 minutes. And we are keeping a lot of things for you as surprises. And one of the surprises is going to come towards the end of the presentation or the training. And there are some events and also trainings that are coming in the coming few days. So please make your calendars or open your calendars for that. There's going to be a lot of learning from Verda One in the coming days. I must also tell you that with this training, you need to grab a pen and a paper or a pencil and a paper, but make it more than one paper because there's a lot of learning that is coming with our presentation today. Faisal Suhail. I know Faisal for many, many years, right? And I don't want to put a number to it because for me, as Hussein, Faisal is a treasure for the whole life. A firm believer of plan your work and work your plan. Mr. Faisal carries a global portfolio in the domain of marketing and communication and more. Started his career in sales domain from Dubai. His experience spreads mostly in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and the UAE, which he strengthened his deep understanding of direct sales, building network around the world, marketing, trade, communication, and advertising. His 24 years of career comprised on working with top global brands like Ogilvy and Mather, British American Tobacco, British Petroleum, Lotte, P&G, and more. So without further ado, Brother Faisal, the floor is all yours. Let's rock and roll.
Hussein, you always put me in a situation, man. Greetings, good afternoon, and for some people, good evening. I don't know, for some, good night as well, maybe. How are you, Hussein?
I'm doing great. Alhamdulillah.
So you, as always, you know what I mean. And most of the time when we start a presentation or a training, you raise, the person to that extent that I mean, again, it's unbelievable, man. Thank you, by the way. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So again, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great day for all of us, and I hope that it's going to be a great time for all of us. First of all, again, to stay safe, stay home, have fun with the family, and of course, enjoy the times and the times to come. Uh, to first, before even we're moving to the first slide, let me assure you that inshallah we'll try to not spend more than 40 to 50 minutes in this training. And this training is about our insight, what we usually work for ourselves, what we usually work as a back office, what we usually try to get, the insights for the business, so that it is not only helpful for ourselves, but it is helpful for the people who are associated with us and who are working with us. It is kind of, again, for people, there is a saying that unseen is only seen by the Almighty. However, the Almighty gives us a wisdom to see things and to see forth, with the cues, of course. And of course, there are times when you usually see the history or the footsteps just to follow, and that's it. So again, in this situation, most of the people, they have quite a few questions about what's going to happen, what are we going to do, how to overcome with the situation. The offices are closed, the businesses are shut, even the small to big businesses, they are in a fear of what's going to happen tomorrow. Most of the countries, they're shut down because of this whole pandemic situation. And again, from an individual to a corporate, everyone is in a situation, is kind of kind of an uncertainty for people, what's going to happen, what's not. And again, in these scenarios, we need again to, again, this is not only one training. We need to, we should attend kind of these trainings from where we get the insightful information, from where we can connect the dots, from where we can actually understand what's going to happen tomorrow, and to take the measures and take the right step. As Brother Hussein said, I'm a student of marketing and communication, and I always believe on plan for your work and work for your plan. So you spend again, Tom. I remember Henry Ford's statement that spend about 80% of your time in planning and only 20% in the action. So your action becomes so watertight that it takes you to where you have actually planned for. And this is again what we have to work on. And the this training, the heading of this training is so that at present, what kind of gift that we have to give to ourselves in this situation. In present, the future is our gift, honestly, and we have to figure it out how we can make our future a present for ourselves, yeah, a gift for ourselves. And this is how this whole presentation is going to take you along. And we need to understand. And again, we've been digging out kind of information from the history, from the past, from what is happening, from where we are heading, other than the politics, other than the other, fundamental theories which people are trying to portray to us, the conspiracies which were so roaming around. We have to find out way for ourselves. I hope that it is understandable for everyone. And although English is not my mother language, but I'm trying to convey my message across as best as possible. So moving on, the first slide is uh, pandemics have been a major threat to the lives of humankind. It's not about mankind; it's about humankind. It's about the livings. It's about the people. From thousands and thousands of years ago till to date, this humankind have faced a lot of pandemics. But what those pandemics has done, those pandemics have done to those humankinds in terms of results. It's the first thing again, and it's not a joke, but it's a joke again, that the importance of proper and modern sanitation. The washrooms that we are using, we're trying to keep it as clean, as hygienic, honestly, as possible. It is because of a pandemic which happened back in 1800s, 1800s BC, which is again, uh, uh, it was called cholera or chaloria pandemic, and it happened in 1817, and it was again, it basically drove people to be more conscious about their sanitation, and their the washrooms and that part of the world. So this is again what helped people again, to it at times, it shows that, oh, what is this? There's some sort of, we're in a situation. But when the dust gets settled, then we realize that, okay, it was not about the pain, but it was kind of, it was helping us out in making things right for ourselves and for our families. Moving on, but have gone hand in hand with major demographical changes. Those pandemics have gone hand in hand with major demographical changes. And if I give you kind of an insight, you guys will be shocked actually that the declination of Native Americans, one of the reasons for them and for their kind of their decline again, uh, was that pandemic, which was when Europeans were heading to those lands. The Native Americans were in a sheer pandemic problems, and they basically, that is not only they were in problem, but it would help the other people to get settled and to manage those lands again. And even before that, if you go to the Mongols, and most of the people who read history, they would know that the Mongols at times, Mongol were so ruthless, and they were so set to rule the world. But there was a time when Mongol faced those pandemics, and it basically it hold them back in their infiltrations. They started that pandemic, and those diseases were so lethal that in their within the people, uh, those people who got sick, who got died, they used to throw them to the enemies so that the enemy get affected with those diseases. And it is history again, it is there in the books. Moving on, those pandemics act as catalysts for technological and economical changes. And again, not only pandemics, but any situation or any movement which has brought a halt to this world. Those movements tell people that, oh, everything is actually stopped. But no, it is not stopped actually. It is basically kind of, it is setting up a scene for a new move. And let me take you guys through with that how those pandemics on and those halt moment has brought good days again for the technological and economical changes. But tell you, I mean, again, it's still little a funny thing. But back in those influenza pandemics happened in 18 in 1918 1920. Um, you know what? Again, there was their newspaper published that bed rest is emphasized in the treatment of influenza. As a result, there has been an increase in demand for beds, mattresses, and springs. Now, here you go. Now, this is what you call, I mean, again, see positive part in a situation, how you see yourself moving forward in any situation, and how you can get the best out of any situation. So there are choices again to sit back, let it happen, okay, see it happen, or to make it happen. I mean, again, these things are actually matter to people who see things in a positive way, who see the bright side of the picture. Moving forward again, health impact. These are some insights taken from different magazines of those times, taken from different insights of even from the Global World Forum and WHO statements that in 1918 those pandemics had taken so many lives. And at some given point in time, it was mentioned that approx 60% of European population was affected, and that the living standards actually improved for their survivors. You know, so the effects were, if I take you guys through that part, it brought shortage of food, brought too much, issue with the hygiene, and 60% population reduction for that matter. But after effects were expensive food. So the shortage of food had given kind of an opportunity to food become expensive. Limited medical, resources, medical equipment, and medical help was so limited. And again, it was limited for the people who were kind of who were who were capable of getting those medical aids. And then the by Godfrey, I don't want to talk much about that, but it helped people to get their own goals, in racism and stuff like that. However, moving on, the economical impact, that pandemic and the war suspensions brought new imagination and ideas to the world with some great inventions of its times. And it is not a joke. Even I'll share those information with you. We get those vaccination shots. Every vaccination shot basically is a derivative or is a result perhaps of any pandemic rise, or maybe any disease which had happened some time back. The kind of vaccine was made, and today we are so kind of blessed that those vaccinations are there for us and get treated. And you know what I mean? How it had impact in those economical, in the economical part was basically lack of resources. So when the moment it affected, there was kind of limitation of resources, high cost of living, and then rentals got increased again. Then after effect again, the urge to do new things. So when people are kind of in a situation, they're locked down, they're catastrophically bound, they're in a red boundary. So what they usually do? They always try to do something new, find some solutions. And that is what actually helped people to move on. We always give example of Mr. Honda during the World War when there was a bomb shed. I mean, he used to and his team used to collect those bombshells. And for people, it was kind of a war, but for Mr. Honda, it was a blessing because he was collecting those bombshells and he was making engines. He's making equipment from those bombshells, from those metal. So urge for people to do something new, that urge can be raised in every single person, in you and in me, in every one of us. But what is that new to do is important for us. And we need to understand where the world is heading tomorrow. And that new that we want to do should get equipped enough that it is acceptable for the future. So that is what our discussion for today. Again, we'll figure it out again. And it's very simple to understand. Uh, Expensive living, the living has become again expensive. And there has been reason for that. There have been reason for that. Expensive labor, because again, for people who wanted to work in those good days, those good old days, they were expensive to take them out and make them work. There is a cost to it, and even for today, the whole world have seen that the people, the doctors, the paramedic team, although they're doing great job, but the cost is too high for them to work because their life is on stake, and for other people as well. I mean, for people who are heading out, who are getting out of their houses to work in the malls, to work in any place which is open today, for them, the labor is not expensive, is not cheap at all. It's expensive now. And of course, most of us know that the need of a shelter is very important, where where somebody can feel safe, where you don't need or you're not fearful that somebody is going to come and ask you to leave the house, or somebody can throw you out of that place. That shelter is basically your home, your place for you, for your kids, for your family to stay safe, stay happy, and stay together. That's very important. Yeah. So again, those after effects, or for people to see forth what should be done, is very important again. And again, this is the historical evidences that we should understand, and we should again think about what's going to happen next in the days, in the coming days, and that those things will help us to, in fact, devise, to plan our future, and to take the right step in the right direction and at the right time. That is important. Moving on, very amazing information. The technology revolution during the recent times, incidents again. Those incidents, I just if you see the yellow circle, that is basically the time when the first computer, one compiled, one organized computer was made, and that was made during a war. It was made by the Germans to decode their enemy languages, and that what made them to develop a computer. Wait, I mean, again, in the tough times, people are making some great inventions. Even if you see the whole chart, the first computer was developed in between 1900s and 1920. In those days, the world was facing a huge pandemic, again from 1917 to 1920. And wait, in those times, the computer was also developed. Now, see, this is what tells us that you need, or people usually get time to think about what should be done in the future. Yeah, hope you guys would understand, and so on and so forth. And it grows like that. And the next slide will tell you again how it happened. uh, I have taken this slide, and again, I'm thankful to brother, one of our director, brother Sekit Kumar, who's into finances and who's into REIT, and he's the one who understands the numbers and the stocks and the REIT better. However, basically, this slide had given me a thought, like, and the numbers or the trend is like a ball. You know what? Think about a ball. In order to throw a ball up, you have to it has to hit the floor to go up. You know, that is important. The people who are in love with cricket, they should know that to make a bouncer, you need to throw the ball to the ground with the full force, so it becomes a bouncer. Yeah. So the ball supposed to hit the ground in order to hit the peak, and that is what tells us in this graph. No matter when it goes down, it goes up again, and it went up, far better than it went down. And you think you see it from the HIVs, from the SARS, from the swine flu, from the MERS, and till today the pandemic that we see, COVID-19. So no matter when any disease had hit the market, hit the world, the market, the economy, the potential, the future will become more brighter. It had given more opportunity to the people. But again, the important part is what was the opportunity, where to go, what to do, and that is the question that we'll try to answer in the next slide. But again, this will tell us again how actual numbers are telling us. It's not about me telling you guys. It's the numbers who are giving us kind of a thought what we should do, where we should go, what again, how to bring those those leverages to ourselves and to our families. And that is important to us. And then again, the adaptive measures. And there is a statement that decide before robots turn white collar. And even today, I mean, if you think about it, no human, I mean, in this situation, and may Almighty God help us get it better, inshallah, for sure. But humans are they're in a fear to go out. So who's going to go out then? Robots. What's going to happen tomorrow in the places where there's too much people, too much rush? Well, ultimately, it's going to be robots there. And of course, it's about human nature at the same time. I'm not going to get ourselves into that discussion. But again, we always looking for convenience, man. Every single communication, every single product, every single thing on earth which is invented is just to bring convenience. And it is proven. From a single circle wheeler, two wheeler, from a beautiful Mercedes, it's about convenience. Yeah. From a light bulb to a AC, it's all about convenience. So again, and if you think about it, whenever there is a convenience, whenever there is an invention, it is about technology. And we need to we have to be smart enough to understand how to use that technology. So if you go back, we have discussed that the most important part had always been the shelter, had always been the safe place where we can stay, we can we can stay with the families, we can have our quality time with our family, with our kids, with our parents. And then about again the technology part. So this is very important slide, and I love this slide, by the way. And it gives me kind of it can give us a heads up where we are heading right now. So most of the people who born from 60s to 80s, they are basically generation X. And of course, I'm from the generation X. But the generation X are the ones, and I'm sure most of us, I mean, the world right now, the generation X is about actually is about 35 to 40% of the population, if you think about it. So the Generation X are the ones who are the caretakers, who are making bread and butter for their families, who are the ones who are making, fortune for the world. Talk about Steve Jobs to anyone, to Michael Jordan even. I mean, they are the Generation X people. And those Generation X people are the ones who are responsible for the days to come. And they are the caretakers of what? They are the caretakers of the, the next generation, which are the millennials of Gen X, Gen Z. So now who's on the go right now? The on the goes are the millennials, the Gen Zs. These are the ones who are in the colleges, universities, who are on their initial jobs, who are doing their basic jobs nowadays. And those people are the ones who are going to who gonna see the change for the first time. But because for the Generation X, they are the ones who actually who have seen from a typewriter to a computer, from a CD-ROM to a USB, from a cassette to a disc or MP3. By the way, those are the people who are acceptable for a change. But for the millennials and for the Generation Z, the change is very tough and not too acceptable. Except the Generation X help them to accept the change. And this whole COVID thing and this whole pandemic thing is the one. They are the ones who will be affected the most from that pandemic, because it's not going to be acceptable for them, by the way. But the caretakers are the ones who will make them realize that, okay, we are with you, so don't worry. Those millennials are the ones, they rejected and redefined the traditional values. These are the ones the most active and have the most disposable income for food and apparel, tend to work from home and will get habitual to it. Very important. They actually, they always see things from the lens of convenience. They save money not to make houses, by the way. They save money to travel. They save money to buy a new gadget. They save money to spend on themselves. They are least bothered about how to make their living. They're least bothered about, again, how to go about it. I mean, again, but who will be bothered and who are the one who should take it seriously? Generation X. Yeah. So the future arrived? We have to understand. This is World Economic Forum telling us about people wearing clothes connected to internet again. From where they have bought internet, they have asked questions, and 91 people said that yes, uh, you know, they are making shopping from internet. 90% of people with regular access to internet, 78% people said they are connected to internet. Over 50% of internet traffic to home for appliances and devices. Again, 69 people were agreed to this. The first AI machine on a corporate board of directors, when this question was asked and this point was told to the 200 people, 45 people said yes, they agree that there was an artificial intelligence machine who was sitting in a corporate board of director meeting, who were attending that board of director meeting. So this basically tells us where the future is heading. A way to be smart about it, because one pandemic is basically is there to help the other. Pandemic means kind of, one news that go escalates and that goes across the board. So this the next move is very important for us to understand where we are heading right. And of course, the communication part, that tells us the whole derivative of first word written, then movable type, and then the mass publication, and then the emails and the Twitter, and 140 characters on Twitter, although it's gone now. But again, the evolution of communication. I was reading a book, and it was it was kind of, it was telling that the most amazing thing a human get out of all of his senses, is the communication. And I was shocked to read that no matter what information you're downloading from your ears and from your eyes, no matter how many great vibes you get from your heart, No matter how many great things that land to you, but the biggest opportunity, the biggest blessing is the communication, that we communicate. And this is what, ladies and gentlemen, can bring fortune to us if we communicate. Even in these times or the times to come, the successful people are the ones who know how to negotiate and how to communicate. And this is important for us. And we will see the derivative. So let's present ourselves the future. So what the future looks like, if you think about it. And the whole scenario and the whole insight and the derivative I've given you, based on the insights from different magazines, from the internet, and from a lot of other sources, it gives us, basically, it comes down to three important segments, and all of us should look into it, what those segments are, in fact, and are we capable and equipped enough to work in these three segments. A, start communicating. What to communicate? And what are the vehicle? Is the technology. And three, a place to live. Simple. Three things, three important parts that we understand. So first, the communication part. So communication, and just to tell you guys, I mean, I actually, right now as we speak, there are people from, if I count, I don't know, from 5, 8 countries of the world sitting in this, webinar, listening. This is the greatness of communication right now, guys. And ladies and gentlemen, think about it. Are you guys communicating to the people right now? Are you guys in touch with your people? And what you guys are talking about? Is it positive? Is it future promising? Is it bringing some fortune or benefit to you? Because again, tomorrow, as we know, that the new normal, that was our last presentation, the last training. I'm not getting into that. But what do I mean, we are trying to comprehend ourselves. What's the new normal? New normal is going to be, work from home, maybe. So those virtual relationships that you cannot meet your first cousins, who will probably be living in the next block, but you will be in touch with them virtually. So, and your friends, your kind of your old college mates, who are living in UK, US, in any place in UAE, how you can get connected with them? What you guys are talking about? Would it be beneficial for you each other? Is it good enough to create relationship? Is it good enough to create kind of a synergy between you and the people around you? That is what you need to communicate. And again, in those social distancing time. And I was, although it is, I'm not, kind of in a favor of that statement of World Health Organization. But day before yesterday, I read an article of WHO, and it said that we probably will be living with this disease. It's not that it's a threat, but it's kind of, again, another direction for us, that we need to create social distance, we need to be hygienic, we need to keep ourselves clean. And again, for especially for the Muslims, they know it's half of our iman, that we have to keep ourselves clean. So again, this is important in that social distancing and that new normal, how we can bring benefit and fortune to ourselves. That is important. And use technology online. It's always great to sit and watch Netflix, and it's always fun to be on a YouTube, and it's always good to, again, I'm not against it. I usually watch Netflix and YouTube, a lot of videos. I'm a man of communication, but uh, you know uh, I usually ask a question to myself: what kind of information am I downloading? What kind of data is coming down to me? Is it in my favor? Or if I'm sharing something with somebody, is it really beneficial for him? Or I'm just sharing for this, just forward button and good to go? No, we need to be smart enough in today's time, In this time of digitalization, in the time of social media, in the time of online, we need to find the new ways of working, ladies and gentlemen, because that's again which is going to be there. Oh, again, we have to just move forward. We don't want to be left behind. And I mean, again, let me just say that, because when we grew up, we used to talk to our parents, and what used to happen? We used to, inside, with all the respect, you say that our father and our parents are old school. That's perhaps going to happen with the millennials and with the Gen Z. They're going to say about it that we are perhaps the old school, and the generations to come. But we have to, again, we have to remain up. We have to keep raising the bars in terms of our understanding, in terms of what we want to do, in terms of what kind of opportunity landing to us. It is very important. And of course, there's nothing new. Nobody can knock the door, and if I don't want to open the door, it's on me. It's my place. It's my house. It's my home. It's my safety, my security, my happiness. It's my family, which is important, isn't it? So for you, think about it. If you just close your eyes to think about it, how important your family is, how important your kids gonna be when they're gonna even they can ask you. Think about it. That how secure is your family today when there is, again, no matter what is happening outside, if you're home, you're home. And those, you know, those places are very important for us to figure out how these things matter to us, not only individual, but as a family. So this is important. And owning a place, and may Almighty help us own a place, of course. How great would that be that not every month we have to pay a rental to somebody? We can use that money for our family. That is important. So stay home, use technology, and start communicating. So if you go from down to up, you will realize what should we do tomorrow. Yeah. So just to conclude it, I'm sorry, it always makes me a little emotional. But anyway, let's present ourselves a future, and that future is going to be a present for us for sure. So we have to bring the right technology for us. So we need to learn it, use it, and earn it. That's the beauty of technology and the real estate. Of course, work for it, own it, and leverage it. So this is the conclusion right now for our presentation. That this is how the future is going to be for us. So we need to, stay up with the technology, of course, and we have to have a place, and we have to have in a business which is related to that commodity. Very important for us, and that is why always talk about we are the one, we are the one who always help people, who's all the company which is there, uh, which has that, the vision, the forward thinking mindset for people to not only help in technology, in communication, but in, the real estate. And that is how it connects together. That is why we are offering it to people, just to help them to stay connected with the best possible scenario. And if you get yourself into that scenario, you will grow eventually. So just to conclude it, hey, uh, about the Worther one, uh, and Worther one is, again, is a people of, is a league of 6 gentlemen who basically started it a year ago, and with the help of Almighty, we are working in 16 countries right now, and still counting for sure. And the phenomena is, basically, it's three fundamental principles connecting together. It's about REIT, real estate investment trust. You can have your real estate brick by brick. That's the beauty of this business, with the help of direct selling and information technology. It's a great combination of these three things combined together, and we're the one, we are the one. And of course, the vision is very important, that empowering people globally to build their own lifestyle and live the ultimate dream. So, guys, thank you. Thanks a lot for this quick session. And again, by the way, let me just repeat it. Wanted to, I was excited to present it. The reason is because those insights were with us, and we've been trying to, work around to, to develop, again, the timelines, the futuristic activities and stuff. So then we thought that why not to share it with everyone, because those insights will help everyone to move forward. So why we should keep it to ourselves? Let's share it with everybody. Let's everybody have, have a vision, have a wisdom, have a thought, have an energy to move forward. So any one of you, ladies and gentlemen, who can get something out of it, we will be kind of, it's going to be a great thing for us. That even somebody can get a one thing out of that presentation is going to be great. And with this, I will hand it over to Brother Hussein for the announcement.
Fabulous, Brother Faisal. Thank you so much for the insights, and thank you so much for sharing the information that you just shared. There is a lot of things that are happening around the world. There's a lot of things that are happening during these days in everybody's lives, right? And I think we're kind of given a lot of time to reflect back and see what have we done pre-COVID-19 and what are we about to do for post-COVID-19? Are you repositioning yourself? Are you really reflecting in redoing your own vision and your own goals and your own values? Where are you going to be standing when this is all over, right? Would you be prepared, or are you going to be starting to prepare? I think what we are offering through Verda One is a plan, a robust plan that is based on a lot of research and a lot of understanding and belief and commitment and determination that this business needs to last, and it's a real business because it's based on real estate. And on that, we have an announcement to make, and that is even to create further excitement within our network and within our community. And if we push it to the next slide, we are, yes, all set to go with Verda One. And I love it when Brother Faisal keeps on telling us that, yes, guys, the new is now. So, as if you have attended the presentation, the concept presentation and the business plan presentation, you would have seen the first level of, or the first rank, the associate rank, and how you achieve the associate rank. And if you have not attended the presentation, please make sure you attend it. Please talk to the person who has invited you. Talk to your upline and understand how this business works, because it is a real business. The board of directors, the owners, the people behind this whole organization want to make it easy and exciting for the people who are joining us, so we can all celebrate success as we move in. And if you have seen the presentation, you would see that becoming an associate manager is one of the ranks, but now we're putting a little bit more color into it. If you become an associate manager in 60 days, you will get free 10 property points from the company. You can imagine what that means, right? You get your commissions and you get free 10 property points, and you're starting to make an income, and you're starting to make an impact, and you're starting to build the credibility how this business really works. So achieve and become an associate manager in 60 days, and you get 10 free property points from the company. Let me just explain a little bit of this associate category. If you can click on the button. So in the plan, basically, we were saying to become an associate, you require 1,200 BVs, you get one total property point and team commission of 12%. Senior associate is 10,000 BVs, total property point 3, and team commissions 12%. associate manager, to reach that, you need 20,000 BVs, total property points 5, and team commission 12%. Stays as is, calculated 20,000, 10,000, 1,200. So that's 31,200 BVs. You get your property points and you get 10 extra free property points that are going to be setting you up for the next ranks, for the performance bonuses, and to grow further and build more credibility in your network and in your association that you're building with Verda One. It doesn't get more exciting than this. I think what we are here to say, and there was a lot of discussion around that in saying, how can we show our associates and show our network how credible this business is to make it even easier? Let's benchmark it to other businesses that are available there outside in the world, and we could see that there is no conditions except for the conditions that are sensible to tell you to grow into this business, where we're saying in 60 days, if you are signing up from today, you have 60 days to achieve this associate manager level and get the 10 property points. On the other side, and I thank the board of directors and the founders of the company, on the other side, if you have joined the business already, then you have 45 days to achieve this particular thing. In 45 days, calculating it from now, if you achieve your associate manager level, you will get the 10 free property points. So it is not to tell you that this is an offer that is only for the new people. It is for everybody in our extended family. Surprises, trainings around motivation, business related, Verda system trainings. More countries are opening up. Please stay tuned for our vibes and updates on the vibes, and make sure that you receive the updated presentation with whatever that I just explained to you by Sunday. If you do not get the updated presentation, please contact our support and they will send you the presentation with the updated 2 slides. Please stay safe. I really thank every one of you attending from the world this fabulous training by Brother Faisal Suhail, our Director of Communication. As I said, one more time, stay safe, stay tuned for more trainings and exciting news from Verda One. Thank you very much for attending. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely evening. Thank you. Goodbye.